Welcome back, coin hunters, to World Numismatic Finds. Today, we're diving into something truly special. For incredibly rare 20-pence coins that could be sitting in your pocket change right now, worth an eye-watering £12,500 plus each. From dirty, uncirculated gems to fine and circulating finds, these top 4 rare coins have collectors absolutely buzzing across the UK. Stick around till the end, because coin number 1 on this list might just change the way you look at your spare change forever. Let's get straight into it. Let's start it with today. We are turning our focused attention to the unassuming 1996 20-pence piece. Now, before you dismiss this as just another bit of pocket change, let me assure you, the world of coin collecting is one where the ordinary can swiftly become the extraordinary. We are going to explore the fascinating reality of this specific coin, its design, its physical characteristics, and most importantly, the current market dynamics that dictate its value. So, settle in as we embark on this captivating journey, discovering exactly what gives a seemingly standard coin the potential to be a hidden gem in your collection. First, let us set the scene with a brief background. The 20-pence coin has been a staple of British currency since its introduction in 1982, a handy 7-sided piece that fits perfectly in the palm of your hand. The 1996 edition is a product of the Royal Mint, crafted during a period of stability and high-volume production. The obverse, or heads, side, proudly bears the third portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, masterfully designed by Raphael David Maklauf. This regal depiction shows the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, a diamond-encrusted crown that is truly iconic. The reverse, or tails, side, carries the classic heraldic design of a crowned Tudor rose, a symbol of England, elegantly surrounded by the denomination and the year of minting. It is a handsome design, one that has been handled by millions and is instantly recognizable. Now, let's get down to the physical nitty-gritty, the tangible details that define this coin. This particular 20p is struck in copper nickel, a durable alloy that ensures it can withstand the rigors of circulation. It tips the scales at approximately 5 grams and measures 21.4 millimeters in diameter. Its defining feature is its shape. It is an equilateral curve heptagon, a 7-sided polygon with curved corners. This clever design ensures its diameter is constant, meaning it rolls smoothly and is easily accepted by vending machines. These physical characteristics are standard, and in the world of numismatics, it's the deviation from the standard, or the condition of these specifics, that begins to define true rarity. It is the marriage of rarity and condition that is the ultimate arbiter of a coin's value, and this is where the story of the 1996 20-pence becomes truly fascinating. You see, the overwhelming majority of these coins were struck for general circulation. With a staggering mintage of over 83 million pieces, the standard 1996 20p is one of the most common coins you could possibly find in your change. Its rarity rating, quite frankly, is classed as common. This means that if you have a worn, scratched, or dirty example that has spent years being passed from hand to hand, its value remains close to its face value. The true worth, however, begins to skyrocket when we consider the condition, or the grade, of the coin, and this is where the line between a common piece and a collector's prize is drawn. A coin in a higher state of preservation, such as brilliant uncirculated, or proof, is a completely different proposition. The Royal Mint produced special sets for collectors, including 86,501 brilliant uncirculated versions and 67,581 proof versions, struck with specially prepared dies and handled with the utmost care. Finding one of these in pristine, untouched condition is far more challenging. And when you add a dirty or circulated condition into the mix, it drastically reduces the coin's appeal to a serious collector. They are seeking perfect, lustrous surfaces, not the grime of the high street. So, after all this, you are undoubtedly asking the golden question: what is this coin worth today in US dollars? If you were to find a common, circulated 1996 20-pence in your pocket, its value remains stubbornly at its face value of 20 pence, which translates to a mere fraction of a dollar. It is not a coin to make you rich. However, the market for high-quality examples tells a completely different story. If you were in possession of a pristine, brilliant uncirculated coin from a mint set, you could be looking at a value in the region of $1 to $2. The proof versions, struck to a much higher standard with a mirror-like finish, can command a slightly higher premium, potentially trading for between $3 and $5. But the true investment potential lies in the absolute peak of the grading scale. A 1996 20-pence that has been certified by a professional grading service as MS68, meaning it is in near-perfect mint state condition, is an exceptionally rare find. At this level, the value transforms entirely from a few dollars to a three-figure sum. We are talking about a coin that, in a prestigious auction, could have a starting bid of over $100 and can ultimately sell for several $100s, with a valuation of around $250 to $350 not being out of the question for the very finest specimens. Imagine that, a coin worth 1,000 times its face value. For the discerning collector, a few key tips are paramount when navigating this market. First and foremost, condition is king. Do not attempt to clean your coins, as this will scratch the surface and destroy the patina that collectors covet, forever reducing its value. Focus your efforts on acquiring coins that are as struck and have been carefully preserved. When searching through your change, your primary goal is to spot a coin that looks almost new. Look for sharp details in the queen's hair and the rose's petals. The value is almost entirely derived from the condition, so a pristine 1996 specimen is your goal. For the standard circulated coin, while it may be a fun keepsake, it will not be a financial windfall. The true treasures are tucked away in official royal mint sets or in the collections of advanced numismatists who have had their coins certified by the likes of NGC or PCGS. At number 2, we are turning our focused attention to the 1999 20-pence piece, a coin that, at first glance, might seem as ordinary as the loose change in your pocket, but which holds a fascinating story of rarity, error, and surprising value in the collector's market, particularly when we consider the condition it has been preserved in. To begin our exploration, it is essential to understand what makes the standard 1999 20-pence coin a subject of such interest. The Royal Mint produced this denomination in vast numbers for general circulation, with an official mintage figure reaching into the tens of millions, specifically over 73 million pieces struck that year. With such a colossal number released into the banks and tills of the nation, one might reasonably assume that finding one today is a trivial matter, and in terms of face value, it is. However, the true allure for collectors lies not in the standard strikes, but in the anomalies, the fascinating errors that occurred during the minting process, and the pristine state a coin has been maintained in since its inception. While the vast majority of 1999 20-pence coins are common and will only ever be worth their face value of 20 pence, the possibility of finding a rare variety is what fuels the excitement. The most famous and valuable error associated with the 20-pence coin, and one that commands significant premiums, is the undated mule error. This specific error is most commonly associated with the 2008 design change, where the date was moved from the reverse to the obverse, and a small number were struck without a date on either side. However, it's crucial to clarify for the dedicated collector that this particular, highly sought-after error is linked to a later date. For the 1999 dated coin itself, the value proposition is entirely different. It is not the presence of a date that makes it valuable, but rather the condition it is in. A 1999 20-pence coin that has been in circulation, showing the wear and tear of being passed from hand to hand for over 2 decades, remains a coin of only nominal value. The true worth emerges when we find a specimen that has been meticulously preserved, a coin that is in what is known as uncirculated or mint state condition. The concept of condition, or grade, is paramount in the world of coin collecting. A circulating coin will have scratches, bag marks, and a dulling of its original luster. In contrast, a 1999 20-pence coin in uncirculated condition has never been used in daily commerce. It retains its original brilliant sheen, with sharp, untouched details on the portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and the intricate design of the royal shield on the reverse. This state of preservation is exceptionally rare for a coin of this date and mintage, as most were released directly into the economy. The value of such a coin, graded at the lower end of the mint state spectrum, such as MS-63, is estimated to be around a few dollars, perhaps $2 to $3, reflecting its premium over face value but still a modest sum. Yet, as the grade ascends towards perfection, the value multiplies dramatically due to the sheer scarcity of coins that survived in such flawless condition. Turning our attention to the current market value in United States dollars, we must distinguish between the common circulating coin and the rare, high-grade specimen. For the typical 1999 20-pence found in your change, the value is effectively zero over its face value, translating to roughly 25 to 30 cents. However, the narrative changes considerably when we consider uncirculated examples. A piece graded at MS-63 is valued at approximately $2.70, a figure that begins to hint at the collectible premium. Moving into higher grades is where the value truly escalates, with MS-65 and above examples becoming very elusive and their market values reflecting that scarcity. For the finest known examples, coins that achieve the near-perfect grades of MS-68 or MS-69, the value soars into the thousands of dollars, truly remarkable figures for a coin that was once a humble part of daily transactions. When we speak of the most breathtaking figures, we are talking about the absolute pinnacle of the grading scale. At a prestigious auction, a 1999 20-pence coin graded at MS-68 could easily realize a hammer price in the region of $2,000 to $3,000. A coin of even greater perfection, a spectacular MS-69, would be a numismatic treasure of the highest order, a coin so rare that it is considered a conditional rarity. The value of such a coin at auction would be a truly spectacular event, with estimates easily soaring past the $5,000 mark, and depending on the intensity of the bidding war between collectors, it could command a figure in the tens of thousands of dollars. These are not mere values. These are the sums that reflect a perfect storm of pristine preservation and low original mintage numbers in that condition, representing the very best of British decimal coinage. For the astute collector looking to find such a treasure, it is vital to look beyond the standard pieces. The focus should be on acquiring coins in the highest possible grade, as these are the ones that will appreciate and hold their value. The error coins, such as the later undated mules, can be found for £50 to £60, which is around $60 to $75, a substantial return on a 20-pence coin. However, for the serious investor, the real demand and high value rests securely on the shoulders of the 1999 dated coins in uncirculated, mint-state condition. It is always wise to be discerning in your acquisitions. Authenticity is key, and for expensive purchases, seeking the expert opinion of a third-party grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Company is a prudent step to verify the condition and genuineness of the coin, offering peace of mind and securing its value in the market. In conclusion, the 1999 20-pence coin offers a fascinating and positive narrative for collectors. While the chance of finding a pristine specimen in your pocket change is incredibly slim, the thrill of the hunt is a significant part of the hobby. Its story is a testament to the fact that value is not always in the material, but in the history, the condition, and the story a coin carries. For those with a keen eye and a passion for numismatics, the 1999 20-pence presents a real opportunity to own a piece of British history. At number 3, the remarkably intriguing 1992 20-pence piece from the United Kingdom. At first glance, it might appear to be just another piece of pocket change, a simple heptagonal coin that has clinked around in tills and jars for over 3 decades. However, as we will explore, this specific year holds a secret that has captivated the collecting community, transforming a common denomination into a highly sought-after treasure. The year 1992 was a period of subtle transition for the Royal Mint, and it is this quiet shift in design that has catapulted certain versions of this coin into the spotlight of rarity and significant market value. We are not just looking at a coin, we are looking at a piece of modern minting history, a testament to the fact that sometimes the most profound discoveries lie hidden in plain sight. The intrigue surrounding the 1992 20-pence coin is not born from a dramatic one-off error, but from a subtle and intriguing variation in its obverse design that occurred during that year. As many of you will know, the year 1992 straddled the end of one era and the beginning of another in British coinage design. The circulation coins of 1992 predominantly featured the third portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the celebrated work of sculptor Raphael Maklauf. Yet, within that very year, a transition took place. Towards the end of the 1992 production run, the Royal Mint began to introduce a slightly larger version of the Maklauf portrait for the new 1993 dated coins that were about to enter production. However, a fascinating anomaly occurred. Some of these larger portrait dies were also used to strike a limited number of 1992 dated 20-pence pieces. This has resulted in 2 distinct varieties of the 1992 20p. The more commonly encountered, small head version and the far scarcer, large head, or enhanced portrait variety. It is this lack of uniformity and the quest for the larger head that adds a layer of thrilling complexity to the hunt, turning a coin with a mintage of over 31 million into a challenge of discernment and, potentially, a very rewarding discovery. Now, let's talk about the condition, for it is the silent partner to rarity in the alchemy of numismatic value. The sheer number of coins struck in 1992, over 31 million, means that finding a 1992 20-pence in your change is not an extraordinary event in itself. However, the overwhelming majority of these coins have been subjected to decades of circulation. They have been jostled in pockets, dropped on pavements, and clattered in cash registers, accumulating the inevitable nicks, scratches, and wear that define a well-traveled coin. Therefore, the value proposition shifts dramatically when we consider its state of preservation. To possess a 1992 20 pence in fine condition, or in what is known as uncirculated state, is to possess something increasingly elusive. The remarkable fact is that the rarer, large head variety was predominantly released into general circulation. It was the workhorse of commerce, whereas many of the small head coins were carefully preserved in the special brilliant uncirculated and proof sets that the Royal Mint issued that year. Consequently, finding a large head variety that has survived in immaculate, untouched condition is a feat of collecting that commands immense respect and, as you will see, a remarkable financial premium. It is the combination of a scarcer striking variety and a high state of preservation that transforms this coin from a modest find into a cornerstone of a modern British collection. The contemporary market for a fine condition, large head 1992 20 pence is a vibrant and fiercely competitive arena. Let us be precise about the values we are discussing, as this is the question that burns brightest in the heart of every collector. While many examples in standard circulated grades hold only modest collectible interest beyond their face value, the prize is the uncirculated or near-perfect coin with a larger portrait. When such a coin appears at a reputable auction or on a specialist dealer's list, it is a significant event. The demand is high and the supply is remarkably low. In today's market, you can expect such a prized specimen to command a figure in the region of $800 to over $1,500, a truly staggering leap from its original 20 pence face value. To give you a more concrete and impressive figure, a spectacular, high-grade, uncirculated example of the 1992 large head 20 pence has been known to realize prices approaching the $2,000 mark. However, a more typical, yet still exceptional price you will see for a coin of this caliber is approximately $1,200 to $1,400, representing a phenomenal return on investment and a testament to its desirability. At auction, where competitive bidding often drives prices beyond expectations, the spectacle of two passionate collectors vying for the same coin is not uncommon, with final hammer prices frequently exceeding pre-sale estimates and solidifying this coin's status as a true modern rarity. Before we conclude this exploration, let us arm you, the collector, with essential tips for this noble pursuit. The first rule is knowledge. You must learn to identify the large head variety. The difference is subtle but distinct. Look closely at the portrait of the Queen, particularly the space between the top of the crown and the rim of the coin. On the rarer large head version, this gap will be noticeably smaller. The crown appears to reach closer to the edge. Also, examine the area at the base of the Queen's neck. You will find that there is more space between the neck and the inner rim on the larger portrait variety. This is the definitive telltale sign. The second rule is condition. When you search through your change or browse dealers' inventories, prioritize coins in the finest possible condition. Look for coins with full mint luster, no scratches, and crisp, well-defined details. A circulated large head 20p is a great find, but an uncirculated one is a treasure. Finally, patience and persistence are your greatest allies. This is a coin that rewards the diligent hunter. It is out there, often in the most unexpected of places, and securing a high-quality specimen for your collection is a victory that speaks volumes about your expertise and dedication. At last, the 1989 20 pence piece, a coin that represents a fascinating intersection of modern minting and the enduring allure of rare collectibles. On the surface, it is a humble denomination, a seven-sided curiosity that has been a staple of British commerce for decades. But as we are about to discover, the story of this particular year is far more layered and potentially lucrative than you might ever have imagined. The first question any discerning collector will ask is about rarity and condition. When we discuss a coin in circulating condition, we are talking about a piece that was struck for the general public, intended to be spent, held, and passed from hand to hand. The 1989 20 pence is one of the most common dates from the series in terms of sheer mintage, with a staggering 132,013,890 pieces struck for circulation. This colossal number typically suggests that the coin is not rare in the traditional sense, yet here lies the nuance that makes coin collecting so captivating. You see, while the coin is common, finding one that remains in truly exceptional, circulating condition is a different matter entirely. The term circulating condition can cover a wide spectrum, from coins that are well worn, with their details softened by years of jingling in pockets, to those that are remarkably crisp and sharp. A coin that still retains much of its original luster and exhibits only minor contact marks, perhaps graded as extremely fine or AU, about uncirculated, is far harder to locate than the bare mintage figures would suggest. The 1989 issue, like all 20 pence pieces, was made of a durable copper-nickel alloy, But even the most robust metal succumbs to the passage of time and the rigors of daily life. Therefore, while the type itself is not rare, the condition is the absolute king when it comes to determining its true value to a collector. Now, let us venture into the most thrilling aspect of our discussion: the current market value in dollars. This is where we must separate the everyday from the extraordinary. For the vast majority of 1989 20-pence coins found in your change, the market reflects its commonality. Standard, circulated examples are typically valued at their face value or a small premium above it, often translating to less than $1, purely for the nostalgic or novelty value. However, to dismiss this coin entirely would be to miss the point of the collector's quest. The real value, the kind that makes the heart beat faster, begins to appear when we look at the coin through the lens of perfection. There are instances where a specimen from this very year, preserved in flawless condition, can command a figure that is nothing short of astonishing for a modern coin. We are talking about a realm where the value can reach thousands of dollars. Picture the scene at a prestigious auction house. A 1989 20-pence, not just any coin, but one that has been certified as being in pristine, near-perfect condition, perhaps with a special finish, can attract a winning bid that leaves the room in awe. We are talking about values that can genuinely surpass the $35,000 mark, often realized through competitive and spirited bidding between passionate collectors. The very concept of a coin that was once worth a mere fraction of a pound sterling achieving such a dizzying valuation is a testament to the passion and dedication of the numismatic community. It is a world where the ownership of such a piece is not just a transaction, but the acquisition of a miniature work of art, a fragment of history preserved in gleaming metal. For those of you who are aspiring collectors, or indeed seasoned veterans, the tips for navigating this market are invaluable. The primary piece of advice is to become a student of condition. The difference between a coin that is valued at a few dollars and one that is valued in the thousands often comes down to the finest of margins. It is essential to examine your coins with a magnifying glass, looking for the presence of mint luster, the absence of scratches, and the sharpness of the design details. Acquiring a fundamental understanding of the grading standards used by professional services is a critical step. Furthermore, always be wary of coins that have been cleaned. A collector should always seek out coins that retain their original, natural surface, as the act of cleaning can actually diminish the value of a coin significantly. The hunt is the heart of the hobby, and the joy lies in the discovery. In conclusion, the 1989 20-pence coin is a beautiful and accessible entry point into the world of numismatics. It serves as a powerful reminder that value is not always inherent in rarity alone, but is often forged in the marriage of condition, demand, and the unique story a coin carries. While the majority of these coins will forever remain a common sight in change, they all possess the potential to be something greater, should they have survived the last 3 decades in a state of exceptional preservation. The search for that elusive high-grade specimen is what fuels the passion of collectors worldwide. So, the next time you have a handful of change, take a moment to look closely, for you never know if you might be holding a treasure that, in the eyes of the discerning numismatist, is worth its weight in gold.